see somebody who's a wise leader. I don't see that in too many places these days.
Yeah. So I think
So,
very fortunate to have
yes.
Francis for the
Yes.
Catholic
Yes.
Church
Yes.
as an institution.
Yeah.
Is that institution fixable? Man, if
Who
anybody
knows?
can do it, I think they got the right guy to try to make it happen.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So another question that came through by Sam Lomalai of tipsofthescale.com. Shout out to Sam for a really good question. And I didn't bring the question with me, but I'm going to paraphrase it here. He was asking us about the Pope. Mm-hmm. Do we think he's the real deal? Is this a PR move? What's the deal with Pope Francis? What's your thoughts?
I like this guy, and I was not raised Catholic. And so I don't have that kind of, I wasn't raised in the Catholic
Right.
Church.
I was, so
Yeah,
I'll
and-
talk about that.
Yeah. And,
Go ahead.
But I have certain views about the Catholic Church based on what's been happening
Right.
over the last number of years, and so from that standpoint, I'm coming at just full disclosure here. They need to clean their own house.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that. I mean, you got to clean that nest out, and I haven't seen it. But this guy comes along, and all of a sudden, I'm real hopeful.
So when you say clean the nest out, you're talking about the sexual abuse stuff.
I had a Pope dream.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, tell us your Pope dream.
Well, it was real weird. I've never had a Pope dream. I'm sitting there in a church, and it was a Catholic church, and it was up front towards the right, and it was over. Typically over there they have an exit door, kind of a crash door for fires and stuff like that. So I'm sitting there, and I don't remember what the service was about, but I look to the side, and there was the Pope, and he kind of looked over and smiled at me, and I thought,
Pope Francis?
yeah, just sitting there, sitting there with me in the pews, not up front, in the pews, and he got up, and there wasn't. I don't remember him saying anything. There was just a real presence about his presence, and he got up and went through the door and kind of turned around and smiled.
And that was the end.
And
of the...
there was more detail to it.
And you
than
felt
that, but
what?
that's all I remember. Hope.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a Pope dream, which is weird because I'm not a big, don't have Pope on a rope.
Maybe
or
when
any
they
of that
come
kind
to
of stuff.
for the sainting of St. Francis, they can come talk to you about your dream.
Who-
Of course, they need a miracle.
I don't think
Make a
that'd be a
saint. You
miracle.
need two
He
miracles.
didn't do
Yeah.
anything.
No,
he
he just came in your
He
dream.
didn't set a bush on fire or anything like that. But anyway, so I don't know. There's
What do
something
you like-
about this. I think
What is it about?
I think he's real human.
Yeah.
I think he's got a human element to. I like the fact that he's getting rid of all the robes and the shoes, and he's just dressing like a common guy. Now, as part of that PR, again, part of me, since I spent my entire career in marketing and stuff like that, I think he understands, whether he's purposely doing it or not, I don't know. I do think he understands the value of those kinds of images.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's striking a chord with everybody. But the other part of it, is he the real deal? Yeah, I think so. And I didn't have a thought about that until last week when he got rid of one of the old guys.
In the United States,
Yeah, the
Cardinal,
old guys,
conservative,
real conservative. Yeah, because they had this. What do they call them? Synods? What is
Yeah.
it? What is that?
I think it's a synod where they. I
Okay,
don't know
they're supposed
exactly.
to have two of them. The first
Right.
one, where they came up and they kind of previewed the document beforehand and
Right.
said that they were going to be a lot more accepting of people
Right.
who are divorced and gay individuals.
Right, right.
And I was thinking, oh, this is really good. And then, but before it was all over with, the
Well, let's get it
powers that
straight.
be,
They're not saying that they. They're just saying that gay individuals might have.
They're making us.
They're
that
not
was,
saying that they're condoning it. They're
No,
just
no,
treating
no.
them like a human
No,
being.
yeah. But even that verbiage got cut way back before
Yeah.
it was all over with. But we've got another one. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, they were basically saying we'll treat them as human beings. We don't condone it,
Right.
except in our own environment.
Right. Well, and I guess I see it. I do think Pope Francis is being authentic in who he is, and I think he comes from. I think he was the first Jesuit. Comes from he's a Franciscan.
Yes.
There's a whole different mentality.
South America, the whole thing.
South America. So there's a whole different mentality.
Yes.
There's a thing with the poor and being among the people that way, and I think he brings that, and I think it's much
And living
needed.
that way. It's not just being among them, but living that way.
Benedict lived as this kind of
Yeah.
authoritative
Yeah.
king.
Had the red velvet shoes, the whole ball of wax.
Right. But I also look at it almost now. I look at this thing as a battle between the left and the right. It's like a country goes.
I
and I
think it's
Pope
definitely
John
that way, yeah.
Paul II and Benedict were from the right wing of the
absolutely.
Catholic Church.
Absolutely.
And Pope Francis is the Obama
Yeah.
of the Catholic Church from the
Yeah.
left wing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he may be more pragmatic. And so I think his whole philosophy and mentality is foreign to that way of thinking. And I think just like you have clashes between
and
the right and
threatening.
left,
And
threatening. In politics, you have clashes between the right and left in the church. And because the church, for the last 25 years, has at least 25 years, maybe longer, has been right-wing controlled.
Yeah.
Conservatives have been placed throughout, and it left to a mass exodus of people because I think,
And men.
yes. And,
there's that.
And then there's that.
Yeah.
Right? The whole gay thing, or not, it's not even a gay thing. What is it? It's a power thing.
No, it's a power thing.
It's a fucked up thing.
Yeah.
It's to me, you cannot have men celibate and not expect trouble.
No.
The power is too deep in us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If it does not express, it will express, one way or the other.
Yeah. No, but
For the
you know,
vast majority of men.
But the other
Not
thing,
the vast majority,
the other
but
thing that I have, the other part of the thing, you always got to get out of jail free card.
What do you mean?
Confession.
Oh, confession.
You know, that's the whole deal with it. That's the beauty about the Catholic Church, is it comes with a get out of jail free card.
Right.
No, but it really doesn't matter what you do.
Right.
You go in and say, you know, I've done a bad thing, and they go, okay, well, you count some beads and, you know, say this and that, and you're good.
Right. Yes. And
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're making it sound like, okay, you do the confession, and then I can go back and do the same thing I did before.
And you're making it sound like that doesn't happen.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying that's not the true spirit of confession.
Oh, of course it's not the true spirit, but I'm saying people, like anything else, they can.
So I think this guy got brought. You know, Francis wouldn't be pope unless a group of people recognized there was a problem, and I think it mirrors to me.
Wouldn't those same people have that are now threatened? Wouldn't those same people be the one that had to have put him in power?
Yeah, yes. So
Yeah.
there's enough of them. Even if they were conservative, they knew they had a problem. It's kind of like
So they're probably-
2008 when the economy went over the edge, and I think this scandal went over the. I mean, they paid $130 million in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's just one city.
Yeah.
So this was $1 billion, billions of dollars a hit.
Oh, they've been
and will
selling
be.
property. Oh, yeah. No.
And they said, we got to
that's
go a
just
different direction.
That's just the monetary thing.
Right.
And how are they really? You know, here's the part that made me realize that there's something really fucked up going on here. Is when I found out there's actually a place in New Mexico where they send pedophile priests to be reconditioned.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Great.
And so if they've got a place like
Well,
that where they send them.
Right. They used to send them just to the suburbs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
so you're
people are not
sending them
gonna-
further now, is what you're saying.
No, it's not a church. It's a place where it's a collection of pedophiles, or at least that's my understanding. That could be totally wrong. If it is, you know, we'll correct
And
it.
I don't think I may be wrong. Were they pedophiles, or did they develop into pedophiles?
I don't
In
know.
other words, is it the celibacy nature that ended up?
I don't know, but that gets off the track.
I don't
on
know.
the
Yeah,
Pope.
thank you.
But
All
it's-
right,
but
because
yeah,
we're talking about Pope Francis.
yeah,
so.
and so anyway, what it is anybody who gets in that job. Can you imagine having to try and dig your way out of that shit?
Right.
I mean, that's it. And so I think the guy, if everybody would leave him alone and wouldn't feel threatened, but they do feel threatened.
Right.
They
And
feel threatened because they have a position of power that's
Well,
real
and so does
comfortable.
everybody that's built anything in the Catholic Church over the last 25 years is going to feel threatened by this guy because it's a threat to they were comfortable.
status quo.
They were comfortable with the thinking.
Yeah, they were
Right.
with the status quo. They were comfortable with
So the question I have about Francis is, I think they brought him in knowing they needed a different face. The question, possible mistake was they thought they'd bring him in and he'd be a face and people would do, oh, I love him and I love the church. But how deep is he actually trying to change it?
Well, they're probably going, we
Yeah.
kind of overcorrected
Did it become more
here.
than a face
Yeah,
and
we
become
need
a change agent within there?
Yeah.
And if he is, then he becomes a big threat. And
Well,
then
the question,
I worry about the
the
Pope.
real question is, absolutely.
safety of the
they
Pope.
Do you really? That would fuck up the church bad.
If
wouldn't it?
something happened to him right now.
But anyway, the thing is, do you think that he felt like he was going to do this coming in, or do you think he saw the way people reacted to him and he goes, I have an opportunity here and a responsibility?
Right. I hope. I mean, I
bring
can't
about
say what
change.
another man thinks, not
Yeah.
me, but I hope. I tend to go that way because he's very. I don't think you can have that authentic and empathy levels that he has. He's developed that to be so cynical on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think he's generally a good person.
Yeah.
Generally, I think his view
Yeah.
of what it means to be a Catholic and what it means, what this church is supposed to
Yeah.
be all about,
Well,
which is
and
a
the leader.
refuge
Yeah.
and a place of healing from the world,
Yeah.
is right on for
Yeah.
where they should be.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he can get it there.
Yeah.
But I do think,
And
I don't think it's a PR thing on his point.
He's showing a certain amount of leadership and
Yes.
wisdom,
Yes.
which is not unlike what we were talking about on the "What Does It Mean to Be a Man"
Right.
episode, which y'all might want to check out. But anyway, it's a little cross-sell action going there. Anyway, but he's showing that. But he's also showing, I think he's developed a certain kind of emotional he's developed emotionally maturity, yes, thank you, that comes from working with poor.
Yeah.
You have to, because you become empathetic. And I think that there's certain level of emotion there that he has, emotional maturity that somebody who doesn't have, that spent the majority of their time in Rome,
Right.
at the Vatican,
Yeah.
dressed up in robes,
Yeah.
surrounded by the
Wealth and
was it
power.
the Swiss guards. I gotta say,
What?
the Swiss guards.
You dig the Swiss guards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you go out dressed in public dressed like that?
As a Swiss guard?
Yeah, it's standing there as a Swiss guard.
You
It's
don't-
okay, but you don't go down and get a pizza at
Yeah.
in town.
No, probably not. Oh,
Yeah.
Halloween. would be good.
Halloween. Yeah.
Good elf. Yeah, so I think he's the real deal, and I'm not going to put him on a pedestal. He still comes from that institution, which has its own beliefs. That modern society seems to be moving faster than.
Well, here's a real good question. If something were to happen to him, say today, and they had to go back into conference to pick another one, do you think that they would make
Pick
what
Francis
they
too?
might think? Yeah,
That's
Somebody
a really
to-
good question.
Yeah,
And I don't want anything to happen to him. So
No, yeah,
I don't know what they would do. On
Yeah.
that. It depends. They might have got scared by just how
Yeah.
deep he wants to
Yeah.
cut, and possibly not. But the church
they're
has got to be
they're
relevant.
scared about it, but I bet the
Where are they gonna
general
go?
population of the church is not scared about the change. Although they may be, I wasn't brought up in that church, and I don't know what they think about ordaining
They've
women
got
or
serious problems. I mean,
Yeah.
the trust that was violated there with this
yeah,
sexual abuse thing is so endemic and throughout that's going to take it takes somebody like a Francis to possibly even turn it around.
Do you think that violation of trust has made the general population of the church, membership of the church, question other things like women as priests and I'm divorced, why can't I have communion? And there's the issue about people who are gay.
Yeah.
Do you think they've made?
Well, I think
they've
that's already
started
being
questioning-
questioned in society.
Well,
Who
true.
was left? Who was left in the Catholic Church? I mean, the Catholic Church lost a lot of I was a Catholic,
Yeah,
right?
We
There's
have
a
friends
ton
that
of
bailed on
I
that.
know,
That go, man, that's a bridge too far. I'm out of here.
yeah. I'd
I can
say I
find
know
something
more
that- yeah.
Catholics that are ex-Catholic than I know Catholics that are in. I think the people that were in the church were either it's kind of the Republican Party. I really see correlations here between the two. You know, the Republican Party got rid of their moderates, got rid of the Bob Dole wing of the party. You know, it came down to the true believers, quote unquote, which are the most conservative, the most fighting change, the most wanting to hold on to power and stuff. And so I think the same thing happened there. So the people that were attending were okay with that. So
both
Well,
groups
well-
have got hold of it and trying to hang on for dear
will,
life.
will Francis be able to bring people back to the Catholic Church? And it's possible that those doors have closed.
I think
don't know.
For
I'd
a
be
lot
curious.
of people, they probably have.
I would be curious, and I don't know, if the Catholic Church would announce those kind of figures, whatever. But are people going back to the church because of Francis?
Oh, absolutely. I think there'll be people that'll come back, but would they come back to the same degree if somebody had come in and go, okay, these are all the priests that have been pedophiles.
Right.
We're handing them over to the local law enforcement.
That's what they
service
should be
to do.
doing.
Yeah, they should be handed over. No, we do. Otherwise, it's self-regulation, and we
Yeah.
found out with Wall Street that really doesn't work.
Self-regulation
No,
doesn't work.
it
That's
really
why the
doesn't.
Republicans have got problems
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Ultimately,
Yeah,
I hate
but-
to bring the politics into it here, but
Yeah.
self-regulation.
You mean
unless
church
you're
is
having,
not politics?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you have an enlightened company, self-regulation doesn't work.
Let's call it an enlightened institution. It's
Right.
not a government. It's not a
Yes.
company. It's not a church. An enlightened institution
Yeah.
that will self-regulate, and it has a group of people that are not the power brokers that are set up to do.
Right.
And in other words, in the Catholic Church, it should be the lay people. What do you think the people in the pews would think about their neighbor's kid getting diddled by one of the priests? They would probably tear his ass up.
Yeah, I think they should have been handed to authorities. How they pulled that off, I
And
really
not
don't
send
know.
him to New Mexico for summer camp.
I don't understand how they, haven't had that
Yeah.
happen way more. If a priest was a regular person in society, they would have been arrested.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know even how they're not all been arrested now. And anyway, so can Francis Sam's question is, I
Is
think
he the real deal? Yeah,
I think he's the real
is.
deal. Yeah.
I think he is. You have to assume and hope that he is until, and
Proven
if he's
otherwise.
not, yeah.
And the more interesting question is, how far can he go to change it? And that remains to be seen.
As far as he needs to go, I hope.
I don't know. That's a lot
Or
to
it
ask
needs
for.
to go, or it can go.
It's kind of
He'll
like
push it as far as he can.
you're going to have to fire a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if he's, well, I guess he can start with the Cardinals, but
Yeah.
where you're going to pull the new Cardinal to take his place has to come from the ranks. So
Yeah.
you have to have either you have to have some good lieutenants around that know who to promote to take the place of these
Yeah.
people.
That
you
are
know,
like-minded.
it's a big world out there.
That
I
are
don't know.
like-minded Cardinals. Are there like-minded Cardinals?
Are there enough of them?
There has to be enough of them that
Or
put him
enough
in
bishop- right.
to elect him Pope, right?
I guess so.
Is it?
I don't know how it all works on electing the Pope, but you're right. There had to be enough
Yeah.
that said, okay, yeah, we realize
Yeah.
this is a radical guy, radical
It's
change.
really kind of a secret society, isn't it?
It is. So there you have that.
Yeah. Huh.
Love to hear from our Catholic brethren.
Yeah, please. Or anybody else that's got some insight into this, because we really don't.
No, I've been gone too long, and you
We have-
never were.
No, we have hopes, though. Whenever you see that, I mean, it's I guess what I see in him is I see a leader, and
A
I
king?
don't. Yeah, and I see somebody who's a wise leader. I don't see that in too many places these days.
Yeah. So I think
So-
very fortunate to have
Yes.
Francis for the
Yes.
Catholic
Yes.
Church
Yes.
as an institution.
Yeah.
Is that institution fixable? Man, if
Who
anybody
knows?
can do it, I think they got the right guy to try to make it happen.
Yeah.
So-
So anyway, stay tuned. That's our best shot at answering this question. And again, we
did it,
have
yeah.
no answers. We're just
Took about 20 minutes to answer the.
yeah.
So obviously, he didn't make our 5 questions in 5 minutes
Yeah.
list, but it's a good question. Thanks, Sam.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.